let's get into the world of Outlaws, and let's talk about Brad Sweet. He's got a 32-point lead over Carson Macedo and 44-point lead over David Gravel. Can Brad do it again this year?
Well, right now, I would say all signs are pointing towards yes, especially this weekend. I feel like he's going to extend that point lead, honestly. I mean, these types of racetracks, these 3/8, these quarter-mile tracks, I feel like he's had the best average finish of anybody over the last, 3 seasons or so.
Yeah.
And he's pretty hot right now, man. And he won at Votto. And then at Devil's Bowl, obviously, the racetrack wasn't quite, where you needed to be able to make a lot of passes. So I think he's finished like 8th or something. But these tracks this week, and obviously he almost won the last time we were at at US 36. Haudenschild got by him there. But yeah, Brad this year, man, I think he does go for the 4-peat. But I will say that it seems like those guys, him and Eric Prutzman and Andrew Bowman, Joe Mooney, the whole crew, I feel like they're not quite where they want to be right now. And Brad has mentioned that a couple times in his interviews. Even when he won at Votto, you can just kind of tell that he wasn't as confident in his car as we've seen in the last, 2 years or so. Mm-hmm. I still think they're missing something to where they want to be at and be, contending for the win every night. And it seems like every night right now they're in the top 5, but which is kind of a bad look for the rest of the guys on the tour, because if Brad says his car is not where it needs to be and he's still winning and he's still running on the podium every night, they might be in trouble for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was amazing that he picked up that first win at Votto, but that was his first win since Skagit. What was it, Labor Day last year? It was unbelievable that it took him that long to get a win.
Yeah, and I asked him about that at Votto and Victory Lane, and he was just saying that, after Skagit, he was just kind of in points mode. He wasn't trying to, mess anything up, didn't want to wreck, didn't want to cost himself any extra points. So it seemed like he was kind of maybe playing it safe last year after that last win at Skagit. So, which I understand. And, but that was when Johnny had mentioned that, he said, oh, yeah, Brad hasn't won since Labor Day last year. And that didn't really, make a big deal to me. That didn't seem like a big deal to me. But I was like, man, that was at Skagit. That is a long time ago for Brad to not win. And I was looking over his last 3 championship seasons, and I want to say the longest he had gone without a win in any of those championship seasons was 10 races.
Wow.
And I want to say when he won at Votto, that was the 11th race. So that was actually the longest he'd gone in a season without a win in any of his championship seasons. So it was definitely a long time.
Yeah. All you have to do is look at his stats to tell you how good he is. Out of the 12 races this year, he's had 9 top 5s and 11 top 10s out of 12 races. That tells you everything, because if you look at the other drivers, nobody even comes close to that number, with the exception of David Gravel, who has 8 top 5s.
Yeah, and I want to say Gravel, I feel like he could still have that streak going, because he was, Brad, I think the first race, Brad was like 13th or something at Volusia. But David was the only guy to have a top 10 in every race, I want to say up to Cotton Bowl. And then when we went to California, Merced, I can't remember what happened to him, but something broke or he got hit by a lap car or something, and he crashed out and had to go to the work area, came back out, did not finish top 10. And then the next night, or the next race or whatever at Tulare, he had another mechanical problem or something running in the top 5 on one of the nights, and maybe that was actually at Bakersfield. Actually, that was at Bakersfield when Sheldon spun out and David was coming around to lap him, and David ran into a spun out car. I want to say if Gravel did not get in those 2 incidents, he would be right there with Brad. I'm talking within 10 points. So Gravel had a couple of bad races there, but I want to say that right now the 2 car is the best car on the tour. He just hasn't had any luck the last few weeks to show that.